Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. I always have to look, what day is it today? I never know. I always forget. We work seamlessly throughout the weekends. I don't know. I did a quick post on Sunday. I don't know if that got published, but really thanks for your patience. Hi everybody. I'm Stefan Roost, founder of Laguna Labs, the builders behind Truflation and the Truth Network, and yeah, building out an ecosystem around true economic data. Anyway, thanks. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm back for the attack. Glad to be back. I was out sick. I was out traveling. I was in Asia at Consensus. And I think I came down with a Hong Kong bug or something because my eyes were all thing, my neck was gone, my voice was gone. I could hardly have team meetings. But I'm back. Not quite 100%. I don't know why. It's been dragging on. I never get sick. I really hardly ever get sick. I spend a lot of my efforts trying to stay fit, healthy, and strong. But somehow I just got hit by something, who knows what. But glad to be back. Here we are, and happy Tuesday. Lots been going on, right? I mean, you've all seen the turmoil. It's been fear and greed like crazy. Yeah, so it was, which reminds me sort of on this graph right here, which actually just spells it out, super easy and efficient. Um, where is that graph? I'm going to show it to you right now. Hang on a second. Oh my God, why is it so difficult? Home, it's this one. Yeah, here we go. Fear and greed, right? Fear and greed. Why is there so much fear and greed, right? We've gone through, why is there so much extreme fear? This is the fear and greed index. We're talking about indexes. We love indexes, as all of you know. But this is really the fear and greed index. A lot of everybody's very fearful. Why? There's so much change. And we've always been talking about it. So I don't know why everybody's surprised. It's the 100 days of thunder. So hold on, buckle up. We're cleaning up. Doge, the efficiency is cleaning out. And I think we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. Did anybody see the Joe Rogan interview with Elon Musk last weekend? If you did, I would check it out. It's 3 hours long. It's pretty long, but listen to it at 2x speed when you go for a walk or when you're in the gym or you're in the sauna or I don't know what you're doing, but just listen to that. A lot of interesting things, but one of the things he does say is he doesn't want to implicate himself so that he doesn't get shot because there's so much under the hood that he's seeing. And ultimately, that's why everybody's complaining. They don't want that shared to the public. They don't want that known. Let's see what happens with that and who takes action around that. But there's a whole office now there that's taking charge. Trump and he's now really brought in a team that seems to be working harmoniously and really with a common objective to make America great again. And I think a lot of people outside of that cohort is feeling fearful, right? There's so much change. What does that change mean? We had the Zelensky blow up. We had the strategic reserve. It flips right around. And then boom, we now are about to go to war. The UK and Europe are claiming they're going to put bodies on the ground in Ukraine. Are you going to want to go to war? Two tribes go to war. Anyone remember Frankie Goes to Hollywood? Go search True Tribes. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It was between Russia and the US at that time, and now it seems to be between Europe and Russia, no longer the US. But yeah, interesting times. I think it's just really, we've got 100 days of we're only 1 month in. So remember, we've got 30 days, we've still got another 90 days to go, 60 days to go before we hit 90, and then maybe a plus 10 days to make it the first 100 days. Let's see how we end up. But there's still a lot more to come. I don't think this list of actions is going to slow down. So stay tuned to that. I think we just need to get used to this change. And yeah, somebody was asking me, what happens if this lasts all 4 years? Oh my God, this is going to be so tumultuous. But it's beautiful. It is so good because nobody has ever tackled the government. Nobody has ever streamlined and driven efficiency, upgrading the computer systems, driving interaction, ensuring accuracy and actual conversion of budget to implementation and to plan. Execution, execution, execution. As a founder of companies, as a leader, you are always driven to go and execute on the vision. China has driven on the vision as a nation, has led in executing. Can't say much for many other nations, but I'm sure there are other nations out there, sort of that are really building and focusing and continuously innovating. In Switzerland, you've seen a lot of continuous innovation. I have a podcast coming out with Ralph Glapschnick, who is one of the founders of the Silicon Valley Association. Silicon Valley? Where is that? No, not Silicon Valley, Crypto Valley. The Crypto Valley in Zug, Switzerland. So he talks about Switzerland and the federated Swiss system that sets up in Switzerland that constantly puts a lot more of the responsibility away from these centralized institutions to a lot more of the regional and local communities, which is ultimately the tax dollar goes to the local communities and not to this federal system far away that has no relationship to what you are experiencing in your hood. So anyway, that's coming. Stay tuned for that one. That'll be really interesting. But we're still living in this fear factor. I think people hate change, right? And change just brings about fear. So let's just hold on, buckle up, and stay patient. The fear is going to work out to the good, and it's going to work out to the good of crypto communities, right? We all saw what happened with the crypto scenario, and we are now seeing what type of coins we can begin to expect in the crypto strategic reserve fund. A lot of people are upset. Oh, why is it other coins and not just crypto? Yeah, I really don't think it should be discussed. Why are you not just happy? We went from Gary Gensler, we went from the worst 4 years under Biden that crypto ever experienced to now somebody just saying, take crypto. We're going to create a crypto reserve fund. And now we're complaining. We're not happy. Why are we not happy? Because, oh my God, it's not only Bitcoin, it's all these other assets in there. And by the way, in this graph here, we don't see Bitcoin, we don't see Ethereum, which obviously are going to be the foundation of this. But of course, a lot of people are unhappy and don't see the reasoning behind this. So let's just be happy. We don't want to upset the existing administration. We want to keep them happy so that at least they set up the reserve. Whether they change it afterwards, what they do with it afterwards, let's just be happy. We've got a regulator, we've got an administration that is pro crypto. Let's be happy with that and let's continue building and let's not dissent around that. Let's continue to build and show that the value of crypto assets is going to grow. And let's build value around those crypto assets. There are so many projects that are building true longer term value. I know you love meme coins. I know you want the fast buck. I know you're ready to risk being rugged. And being rugged is just a part of meme coins. And if you don't know that by now you for sure better know that. And hopefully you're listening to channels like this that are going to highlight elements like that. But be careful with meme coins. It's so risky. It's high volatility. Sure, you can make money, but you're going to be, somebody's going to, you're not always the last person laughs, the worst. So I don't know what the stating is, but if you think about that, it's just not going to be the right place to put your money. But look at builders, right? What are people building? There's some really interesting projects. And of course, I'm happy to say that we are building. But more importantly, what I did want to share with this, hey, how about, here you go and come to index.fun and create your own index using this reference. Create a strategic reserve index. How about that? I was just on with Ivan earlier, and he suggested anybody can create an index. Go to index.fun, create one, and allow people to predict. People have created a drill, baby, drill index, which you can see here. Look at this. Drill, baby, drill. Look at that. You've got that there. You've got the Murad's meme coin index, deadlift. You've seen a lot of it. You've got index bear. Oh, wow. Look how cool this stuff is. Made in America index, right? With tariffs now, it's got to be made in America. So create an index. We now know TSMC is going to be there. We know NVIDIA is investing in there, Stargate, SoftBank, et cetera, et cetera. So all of these are developing in the US. So made in America index. Check that out. Founder led. I mean, just look at this and go and create your own index, and you make money off how much your index is making. So let's go see what is in the drill, baby, drill index. So if we come in here, you can see it's a bit down, right? Why is it down? Because it's got a lot of oil. We got WTI, we got Brent. Brent is UK traded oil, and WTI is West Texas index. So that's US based oil. And then the heating oil futures as well. So those are all feeds that are coming from the Truth Network into index.fund so you can create your own index. Yeah, so that's pretty exciting, and I think one of you should go and check this out, try and build around it, and let us know what you think. Yeah, that's really around that. And a lot of you have been asking me what's with the Truth Coin and the Truth Index and Truflation versus Truth Network. And so what we did, and here is one of the comments. You can see this is in the Telegram chat on the Truth Network. We've just launched this. This will just be a announcement channel in the future where you can just see updates. But Truflation and the Truth Network are obviously intricately linked. Truflation is tied to the Truth Network. Why did we set up the Truth Network? A lot of you have been asking. We set up the Truth Network because ultimately we were growing in terms of volume of data. We had committed to making everything transparent on the blockchain. And that's why we actually built, working together with Quill, on using their technology and building it out as a service. And so we've innovated on top and around, but working very closely with the Quill team to really optimize and work and have them develop a roadmap aligned with our requirements, as well as seeing more development and ecosystem evolve, very similar to what you're seeing on um, on index.fun, what I just showed with you, and what you're seeing with Truflation. The utility of the Truth token is going to be tied to the Truth network. You buy data with Truth token. You sell data with Truth token. So how does that look? What does that look like? So here, remember, I shared a graph where you can see data in is rewarded in Truth token. You can see here the Truth network, which is a decentralized network of node operators that are maintaining a Postgres database using a Bitcomet consensus algorithm and enabled with SQL smart contracts. So that's the sophistication that Truth Network has built out. And we felt it is the element. And when we set up Truflation, we had always had this in the back of our mind, and now are transferring the Truth token across to the Truth Network, where the utility of the Truth Network is gassed by the Truth token. And so you're going to see a lot more of activity like that. Real world asset data gets shared, and indexes get shared all the way up to the World Wide Web. So Web 2 applications, order books, trading platforms, synthetic assets, as well as to the Web 3 on various chains across from Base, Ethereum, Arbitrum, Cardano, Fractal, etc. And you can see up on top what type of applications on those various blockchains are going to be consuming from the Truth network. So it's a data availability and index availability network specifically targeted at RWA pricing, as well as economic and financial data. So that is growing, and we're building this out, getting more distribution, getting more data, so that ultimately the velocity of the Truth token is tied to the Truth network. More utility, more action, more transactions on the Truth network, the more value around the Truth token. Truflation.com is one of the visualization engines associated with that. Now, I don't know if any of you have been to Truflation lately, but we have been definitely building out the Truflation solution. And I just want to show you some of the services that ultimately highlight the benefit of what the Truth network actually does. So I'm going to go into here and share with you. Here you can see, Truflation, look how, and the reason why we set this up again, check out our blog post, but the reason why we separated Truflation and the Truth network was mainly because Truflation customers and users just wanted inflation data. Give me the economic data. Give me the financial data. I don't care about infrastructure and technology. I just want to see the front-end experience. Engineers and developers and app builders, they all wanted to understand how the engineering worked. How easy is it for me to integrate some of this data? How do we additionally monetize all of these data beyond just Truflation.com. And that's why we built out this backend infrastructure, number one, so we would ensure the transparency and we would ensure accuracy and we would be held accountable based on that. And then number two is how do we start? It started getting so big and wieldy. But number three was, and then how do we monetize this through other venues? And that's how we built this out. But now here you come to inflation. Let's have a look. I can go to indexes 1.42. Wow, look at that. And I don't know, just on that note, I don't know if you've seen, we just did a nice blog post the other day, and you can see that here on Twitter. Why is it dropped, right? I think a lot of people over the last couple of days saw this humongous drop here, right? From all the way from 2.6, 2.26, all the way down to 1.44. And so 1.42 right now, right? So you've seen this huge drop. Why is this drop happening? And we got a lot of questions around that. So our team put together a response, Rodrigo put together a response to highlight what this drop was about. And so he's, you can see here the video explains crystal clear. And so here you've got an amazing animated solution. You can actually see what it's that drop. You know, we're 45 days ahead. Yeah. So here, whoops, my tab, tab here. Anyway, check out the tweets. It's all here. You can see, look at the trend lines. We're always an average of 45 days ahead, right? So you look at that shift. Here you go. He highlights it. You can see here to here. Here, here, it's a shift leading to a 44. Why was that drop though? A lot of the questions came with transportation costs stabilizing, utility prices coming down. And again, it's not deflation, it's disinflation. So inflation, price on price from last year to this year has dropped significantly. So all of a sudden, the price increases have significantly reduced. There is no more inflation to the magnitude of 3-4%. It's down at 1.4%. So Trump has managed to bring down inflation to a level of 1.4%. So that's pretty amazing feat. Is that because of economic matters? Is that because the prices were already so high? Is that because consumers are not going back to the shop? Is that because of fear factors? All of those play into the equation, right? So it's not just a one size, one person, one action answers all. It's a balance. It's an algorithm, and it has different weightings, right? And the weightings changes all the time. But ultimately, you can see what has been coming down. Transportation, a lot of it's going to be gas costs. Utility, a lot of it's going to be gas cost again. Housing market adjustments. Okay, more houses coming onto the market or people buying less. Interest rates coming down, trying to stimulate that. Supply chain normalization. Okay, so we've now figured out that supply chain has stabilized itself a bit more and prices have not skyrocketed yet from the supply chain. And then ultimately, consumer behavior, right? High interest rates, economic conditions have slowed demand. So again, it's an algorithm, right? There are all these multiple different features that are playing into the mix. What does that mean? That means that ultimately we're looking pretty interesting. But I want to come back to the graph that I was showing you and Truflation, right? What's going on with Truflation? So you can see here, I can come in. I actually have to sign in because if I don't sign in, I didn't want to share that. Anyway, here you can see this. Yeah, yeah, we've got inflation. You can see here, you got some upcoming events, employment situations coming up. We were talking about employment. That's one factor that influenced this consumer expectation. Or March 7th, March 10th, March 11th, we've got another JOLT report coming out on March 11th, consumer CPI March 12th, not only in the US, but also in India. So India and the US are going to report CPI on the same day. And then ultimately, we have an FOMC meeting. What does that mean? That's interest rates, right? Interest rates are going to be a more major factor of decision. So check out, you can come out to truflation.com and you can see at the bottom the economic calendar. But what I want to highlight to you is let's go and have a look at some of these indexes, right? So I can come here to indexes and I can see it's loading. I can go to indexes and you can see it should be loading all the different indexes. So I could have a look at the US Truflation Index. Okay, so let's have a look at it. And here, let's have a look at what is this. Here you can get the API key. So if you want to subscribe to this data and integrate this into your Snowflake data lake, then boom, you can do that. At the same time, you can go to Truth Explorer. What is this? On the Truth Network, I can now actually come here and see, here's the CPI US. There's a small description here. The description's not been adopted. Here you can have the SDK to immediately integrate that. Here's the ID number of this stream. It's a composed data sets. So it consists out of multitude of data sets out here. And here you can see the composition, the number of types of providers of data sets in there. So this is the Truth Network Explorer. It highlights to you where the data is coming from, how accurate is it, and I can go deeper and deeper and deeper into the data sets. You can see who the publisher is. It's the deployer. This is their their address, right? You can see what is in here. Here you can see the owner, what permissions. It's public. You can change these to private. You can limit it to whitelisted participants. So only certain users can actually see this data set. And then here you can see the different breakdowns. So let's go into, we saw transportation come down. Let's have a look at transportation. Here you can see CPI, US vehicle purchases, and all of these data sets. So we have a breakdown of the constituents. So again, the methodology written up by SQL smart contracts are reflected in here. So you can actually see the true authentic breakdown verified on chain. Here you can see vehicle, gasoline, other public and transports. And then let's go into vehicle processes. I can then see where all of this Numbeo, KBB, BLS, Car Gurus, Mannheim, JD Powers, those are all the sources of data providers for that category. For what category in? We're in the US vehicle purchases, net outlay. Again, deployer, and you can see these are now primitive data sources that have led up to the composed data sources. Again, this is all public. I think if I know the team at Truflation, they'd love to see this private because ultimately you subscribe to the data so you can see it. And then you can see who is consuming these primitive streams. This is the stream ID. This is the stream name that's consuming it. There's no description and the category is truth indexes. So all of this is now visible on chain as an explorer. So your data, you can track your data, you can follow the data, you can question the data, you can question the calculations that are done. All of that is now live for you to see on the Truth Network. And so that's why we've built out the utility token in order to access this, to manage the interactions with this, to either contribute data and get rewarded for your data contributions, or to consume the data in any form you would like to consume it in on a Web2 application or even in the Web3 environments. So yeah, it's exciting. Hope that you now understand better why we've actually tied the Truth token to the Truth Network and no longer to Truflation. Ultimately, nobody in the Truflation consumer or user base were really interested in the Truth token. And so we actually were always had intentionally built out the infrastructure to support the Truth token. And now we've migrated those. Yeah, so that's been interesting. And in order to strengthen that infrastructure, as a lot of you know, we've been working very closely with Chainlink since our inception. We're their first build partner. And we are always working very closely with the Chainlink team. And we just did an announcement together with them where you can see Truflation, powered by the Truth Network, adopts a lot of the Chainlink services for index.fun. So all the indexes created on index.fun are maintained and managed by the Truth Network. So the Truth Network acts as a database and the calculation agent for the indexes, as well as the data provider for those indexes. And so here you can just see how all of this works, how it's enabled, and how these are going to very soon be distributed onto exchanges. So you'll be able to trade in these indexes and not be suffering all these crazy rug pulls and focusing on meme coins and which meme coin should I get? I don't even know which one, but you can actually start participating in a multitude of meme coins to hedge yourself and beware, possibly get some of the upside when the trend's back and when meme coins establish themselves, which they will, by the way. They are going to be a collectible, and they are going to be a reflection of those individuals that they are acting as collectibles for, to be able to mark them to market very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see how that evolves. But yeah, we're excited about this Chainlink partnership heavily to integrate the Truth network into Chainlink and ensure that we're using their automation. Why is automation so important? So the data easily can get converted and integrated into Chainlink. We are using their data streams. Why? All the indexes get onto the data streams, and then they can get distributed to all the data streams customers. So pretty excited about that. Ultimately, CCIP. Why? Because the tokens for the Truth network are available on multi-chain, and so Chainlink is providing the bridging associated with that, or is enabling the bridging, as well as working with like the companies of XSwap that are built on top of user interface on top of CCIP as well. So just to give you the magnitude and the complexity of activities that we're working on, and the teams are heavily busy developing, it's amazing. And that is execution. That is efficiency, conversion of dollar to product, to provide transparency, to provide trust, to provide insights, and make that all available to anybody. And that's the beauty of the power of the blockchain. And that's why, I don't know if you saw Vivek Ramaswamy, he was doing some presentation the other day. It was amazing. I mean, he was talking exactly what we're doing. X.com, Vivek Ramaswamy, he was talking. Yeah. So, he's talking here. What's he talking about? Oh man, he really says, he's super keen to see blockchain. And where was it? Anyway, he was saying here, Vivek, in this presentation somewhere, oh man, you got to check it out. But he's running for governor of Ohio. He's announced that governorship. I don't know what the right word is. You tell me. But here you can see GM. Thanks, Tim to Kill. Good to see you. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, getting there, man. Not 100%, but yeah. So here you can see he's talking about, he wants everything, put every public expenditure, state, country, municipal, on the blockchain. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. So we should be working like we are working with the Argentinian government, putting everything on the blockchain with them. We should be doing this with Ohio, and let's work on that. And that's, so anybody that can help us with an intro to highlight what I just shared with you. Imagine all of that explorer. You can track the data, you can follow the data. We won't be able to follow all the money, but we will be able to follow all the economic data and have that on the blockchain. So really would love to work with the government on making this possible and leverage the technology that Truth Network represents. Yeah, so that was really, wanted to share that with you and give you that update on the Truth Network. So check out the Truth Network. We've shared with you what's all the stuff that's coming on. Another protocol building on the Truth Network, if you haven't heard of, and we might be having some interesting announcements coming up very soon. In addition to this, is Nuon. So check out Nuon Finance. They've are developed. So there's a really good video that back. Morning. Man, what a week it's been! Huh? How crazy and tumultuous it's been. It's like.
The other thing that's in there
so
is
you got all the scenes. You can see
everything's
what's going
going to work.
on, how easy it is, what the yield is
What do
like,
you
and
what do you
I
plan?
think where is the yield? It's like up
New
in the
on.
like
So you're gonna have the ability.
somewhere,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
here,
then the claim element is to
1,800
claim the
something percent,
rewards
of
that I
which
have
bear in mind,
beyond
you've got
Truflation,
Truflation,
which
which is
actually
maybe
gets
two,
streamed to my
native
Nuance
yield is
tokens,
about
right?
8%, and then the
Exactly.
rest
Yeah,
is
yeah,
in the
super
strategy
cool.
token or
And
the
a nice
strategy
yield,
fund.
right? 1,827. And I think that the most exciting bit is
It's
you have
only on LinkedIn right
Nuon
now,
is
but it'll be on
two
YouTube very
tokens,
soon.
right?
So if
It
you want to
has
get the
the
first
Yes.
one,
Nuon, which is the
check it out
yield
on
bearing or inflation.
LinkedIn. It's about 30 minutes, so you can listen to it at 2x, however you like. But yeah, that'll be pretty exciting. Um, so I mentioned earlier, we got quite a big week coming up. We just had the fear. Why did people fear? Right, GDP numbers. We saw a lot of announcements of it coming down, but the government, as you know, and as we shared many times, the government needs 3 months to announce and monitor. So they have the second edition and then they'll have the final edition. So every time they track the GDP, they wait for a first estimate, a second estimate, and then the final actual number that they see out. But look, we're already in March, and so boom, we've only got the Q4 numbers. Predictions for Q1 is dropping like crazy. But why? Bear in mind that in these GDP numbers, they have a lot of government subsidized metrics in there from Doge. So what does that mean? That means that ultimately all these NGOs that have been receiving money, all of these employment that have been coming through funny sets of numbers into all these, I don't know, whatever that have been coming out on Doge. All of a sudden, you're now seeing them actually. Maybe they are distorting economic growth. Maybe they are distorting the numbers a little bit. And so that's why the growth has been higher than what we've seen. We still believe that Doge and the efficiency will unlock an amazing potential around all these technologies. We will see phenomenal growth when this engine goes. And when everything is on the blockchain and transparent, it will be managed by decentralized networks. It will be running and humming super fast the way that was envisioned. And so let's actually see that to fruition. Let's hope that these next 90, the remaining 60, 70 days out of the 100 days of thunder, maybe they're going to be more than 100 days. Who knows? But right now, there's so much change going on. And we've just seen some of these offices and the individuals running these departments be appointed. So they're just getting up to speed. So we still have so much more to see beyond what we're seeing right now. So stay tuned, buckle up, make sure you've got a fucking fast seatbelt on so that you can handle the speed that we'll be going out at. So that's all I wanted to cover today. I did want to make a bit of a teaser into next week. So you can see here next week we have inflation numbers coming out. So we'll have a spaces for inflation and share with you our amazing predictions. We are nearly right all the time. Um, yeah, I mean, it's pretty phenomenal, except in January. Nobody is ever right. Why? Because they always mess it up. They change the methodology and they don't tell anybody how they change the methodology until after the fact that they've announced the methodology changes. And we've gone through, and if you go back to some of our old videos, you'll see how they change the methodology and what they do and how archaic it is. Anyway, that's to you old school calculation of Truflation, and that's why we set up the Truth Network and Truflation.com. But one thing here is interesting. So we have next week we have inflation numbers. The week after we're going to have the FOMC meeting. What does the FOMC meeting do? They come together and they decide on interest rates. Will they drop the interest rates or will they pump the interest rate or will they hold them the same? So you can see here in the FedWatch metrics, what is the prediction? And I'm sure if we go to Polymarket, we could have a look at something else and maybe we should do that. But I won't go into that. But here you can see the changes, right? A week ago, it was at 96% was seeing no change. After the drop on Truflation.com, people are beginning to start believing, is this a 45-day lead indicator? Should I be paying attention to this? And oops, all of a sudden, nearly 5% of the pub have switched from no change
to maybe a drop in interest rate down to 9%. So people are beginning to pay attention to Truflation. You should too. No other metrics matter. It's just Truflation. Follow Truflation, subscribe to it, sign up to our newsletter, because that's where you get the latest and greatest. And if you're a builder and you want to build other applications using the Truflation Index, go to truth.network. That's why we built that out. So builders can start integrating and developing financial products using the Truflation Index. And I showed to you how transparent it is with the Explorer to track the true data, the Truflation Index data, and where it's being consumed and how Truflation can make money off it as well. So the other thing I did want to share to you, and before I go, is what are we going to talk about maybe on Thursday? There's this big contingent happening right now where there's a change between what's going on in the world. It was always the US leads the whole world. And right now, we've come to reality that there's now a different playing field. There are three nations that are now mattering: China, Russia, and the US. Obviously, the US is still in a very strong leading position, the biggest market out there, biggest productivity, most great technology, amazing army, and ultimately, cleaning up the efficiency and driving new initiatives. So with that in mind, how is that going to play out? Where is China today? Where is Russia today? We won't talk about Russia. We know Russia has a lot of minerals, has got a lot of reserves, and got a very strong and tough nation, a nation of tough citizens, as well as a lot of resources. But more importantly, where's China? What's China been doing? And I think we underestimate China, right? And we worry about the tariffs. The US has been talking about tariffs onto China, tariffs onto Europe, tariffs onto anywhere. But if you worry and you look about tariffs, the tariffs are there for a reason, right? Look at the trade deficits that's been accumulating over time. There's $1.2 trillion in trade deficits in goods. So that's amazing how that's just accumulated over time. And now it's reached a mega number. So putting a bit of interest, tariffs out there, 10%, that's not much, 20%. And somebody was saying there's a Tsinghua University out there. Anyway, I'll save that for Thursday. But you can see here, China has the exact opposite. It's a trade surplus. They're selling, domestic consumption is growing, right? Look at the car sales in China, 2.27 million electric vehicles sold in China, right? So just look at the amount of cars being sold. Look at the amount of reserves in China. Sorry, you're not seeing my graphs. The amount of reserves in China and Hong Kong combined. That's $2 trillion. So if you think about it, a while back, Europe was a big holder of US dollars. They received a lot of loans from the US, they purchased a lot of loans, and they needed dollars to buy back those loans. So they started accumulating dollars. And also when they do trade with the US, they were doing dollars. So those maybe all of these no, maybe not. Yeah, for sure. All of these deficit was paid in dollars. So they're now all sitting on dollars. And so what did they do in Europe? They tried to create efficiencies using that dollar outside of the US economy. And that's when the euro dollar was established. Now think about it. We have here in China and Hong Kong combined $2 trillion nearly in assets, in bonds, US dollar bonds. Is there going to be an Asia dollar? And will that be based out of Hong Kong? Stay tuned. We'll talk about it a bit more on Thursday. Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this. It was a bit longer than I thought, but I've been away for a week and I had so much to talk about. I got lots more I could talk about, but hope you enjoyed that. Hit the like button, subscribe, please, follow up, get noticed. We share everything on the various channels. Hope you enjoyed this and have a great Tuesday. And we'll see you on Thursday. And I think you'll enjoy what we'll talk about on Thursday. Thanks for now. See you guys.